Hello, guys, and welcome to the third episode of the Trackmania podcast. I would like to call today's episode the first official one because this is how most of the episodes will look like. One profile from the scene of Trackmania will join me for a little interview so we can get to know him better. It's safe to say that my guest today is one of the biggest profiles in the scene. We'll play in the grand finals of ESWC, Gamers Assembly, and the Serrator Cup. My guest today is none other than Koenz. Hello, Koenz. I'm glad you said yes to be my first official guest. How are you?
Well, thank you for the invite. First of all, I'm doing very fine. Pretty hectic day with studies and interviews, but it's my pleasure.
Yeah. And as this is a project where I want people to learn more about the profiles from the scene, it's natural to ask the guests to introduce themselves. What are you and what have you done in Trackmania?
Trackmania, wow. Well, I started 11 years ago when I was 14 years old. My dad showed me the game, and that was the moment I started playing, and I was immediately like flabbergasted. I just had to play it. That was like 11 years ago. And 10 years ago, a year later, gaming that was at the moment one of the best professional gaming teams, signed my first contract, and actually since that moment I've been a professional ever since, joining several teams. I think most of the people know me from Team Acer, probably, because I drove there for 3 years and also had my biggest results at Team Acer, as well as you mentioned ESWC, the Serrator Cup, and Gamers Assembly. So yeah, and since I think last year, 2017, I actually kind of, I kind of ended my Trackmania career. And nowadays I'm very active in Rocket League, but I still play Trackmania now and then. You can find me online sometimes. It's always going to be my first love.
Yeah. We'll get more about the team and the events later, but let's get right into it because people that follow the game today, they know that you are not longer an active player. How did you end up making the decision of stop playing the game competitively?
Well, obviously it's a very tough decision. Like if you fall in love with your first love, ending it is pretty difficult. So it actually took me a couple of years because everyone in the gaming scene knew that like 2015, like I think since 2011, 12, less people started playing Trackmania, even though the game is amazing and should be recognized a lot more than it is today. However, things didn't really go the way of the community, what the community wanted it to go. And 16, and I again attended the World Championships, ESWC, and we had to play in like this LDLC shop with no fans, no public, it was like nowhere close ESWC, like the experience on the main stage, amazing, so many people. And when I saw like during the years Trackmania was like the year, like it got smaller, like the community was very stable, but I don't know, it went down. And when I saw the World Championships at 2016 and I saw where we had to play and stuff, like I love meeting the people, but that was the moment I thought, okay, invest all of my time in this game anymore. It's just not worth it. It's just not worth it. Like you train for all the online tournaments, but there are not like prizes or prize money. And it's not that I look for money, but after all those years of playing and supporting the community, that was my moment to say, okay, I think I have to put an end to it and just go for fun sometimes. So at the beginning of 2017 in March, I wrote a big Facebook post and told the community that, yeah, I made a decision and I will continue my career in esports in Rocket League as a player. Kind of stopped Trackmania. If there's an ESWC, I'll be willing and try to participate as well as the Serrator Cups. But yeah, well.
So it's safe to say that if Trackmania was sort of successful as other esports game, you will still be in the game and playing.
Like if Trackmania was like, if Nadio made the right decisions on the right times, and if Trackmania was like a lot bigger, I would have no life Trackmania, like so beside my studies. So yeah. I would play Trackmania, yeah, absolutely, no doubt. First love.
Yeah, and as I said in the intro, you have played the biggest events in the game, both as a solo player and as a team player. What event stands out as your favorite event when you look back at it now?
Probably ESWC in 2013. There's two reasons for that. The first one is that in 2012, I attended the Dutch qualifiers because the Netherlands had one spot for ESWC. And at the Dutch qualifiers in the finals, it was me, Spam, and Tamarillo playing against each other. And I don't really know the fourth, maybe Cookie or something, I don't know. But at least it was us three. And yeah, without doubt, we are probably the three biggest names from the Netherlands. And actually, in the end, I didn't win that qualifier, even though I was like 20, 30 points in front. I was finalist. The others, the second one was at like 85, 87 points. And before the final started, the location actually said, okay, we won't play finalist mode because we have time issues. So just drive until 120 and then it's okay. So when I reached 120, I thought I like won. So I turned around and I asked to the people behind me as well as crew members, like, okay, did I win? Is it, is this like legit? Because that's what people said at the start, at the beginning. The shop actually said, well, we apparently have more time than we expected, or it went quicker than we thought. So you can still play finalist mode. And I was like, what the fuck's happening? So since that moment, I lost my focus. And yeah, that was basically the end of the final. So then Spam caught up and Spam finally won it because I just couldn't win another round as finalist. My focus was gone. And in the end, Spam did a fantastic job at ESWC. He won the World Championships. Many congratulations, obviously. Glad we have another Dutch champion as well as Xenogear. But obviously, I felt bad. And the year after, 2013, I qualified myself through the European qualifiers, where I don't know exactly who I had to play in the finals, but I went through and I was so happy. And then immediately during my first like appearance at ESWC, I reached the grand finals. And obviously for many, it's a dream to play on that huge stage in front of the big crowd. And well, it was my first try and immediately got there. And like, it was amazing with all the fans and the people. I will never forget it. So because of like the disappointment the year before and the success the year after, that's definitely without doubt my highlight.
Yeah. And in Gamers Assembly 2015, it was sort of my first LAN event that I followed closely and tried to watch every match. And as far as I remember, you had a strong finish in all of your matches and ended up being one of my personal favorites going into the grand final. You were pretty close to winning it all, but in the end, you placed third, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, true. Actually, Saber denied me the win with 600s. I will never forget that. Yeah.
And Saber was a trial for Acer at that time, or?
Oh, that's a very good question.
I'm just thinking about it now.
Was Saber playing for us? I don't know if he was a trial. He was sleeping in my room, actually, I remember.
Oh.
Yeah. Inside stories. But I don't know if he was a trial, but he did very, very well. He finally got second. And if it wasn't for him, I actually won the final and became first. But he denied me the win based on 600s. And that was, I think, the only round of finalist I had in my own.
Yeah.
So that I felt that.
How would you compare that third place to the third place as at ESWC, that like you were talking about before?
The ESWC story is a lot more emotional. That one sticks out without doubt. Like Gamers Assembly, it was another international event. ESWC was my first one. I had no disappointments yet during Gamers Assembly. Maybe it was my first Gamers Assembly as well. I wouldn't be surprised, but I just came there to have a lot of fun and try my best. And I apparently got myself in the finals out of nowhere. And so there's not really like an emotional connection to Games Assembly. I love the event. I love that people are actually coming to the event to meet us as players, and we can meet them and talk and chat, and very open, very social. It's lovely, but there's not like an emotional connection as I have with the ESWC story. So I would rank it on the second place.
Yeah. You were saying that if there was a new ESWC, you might attend. Gamers Assembly is nowadays recognized as the most competitive big events for tech players. Is there any chance that we will see you play at Gamers Assembly this year, maybe?
No, probably not. Very disappointing. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to everyone that's listening. I'm sorry, but I could go. Yeah, what's actually the reason I'm not like? It's so difficult. Like it's still my first love, but obviously like sponsors. I'm now playing for MCon Rocket League, by the way.
Yeah.
MCon is also well known in the Trackmania community, and like I could ask Acer, which I'm an ambassador of, to like or MCon to like send me there if possible, because I don't have the financial background to just get myself over there, and don't win anything. And obviously, it's like much more than just about winning. It's about the whole experience, but it's very like it costs a lot for me, and I do a lot beside playing, but I don't. That doesn't mean I earn a lot. So I got like supported to go there. I would go, but I'm less active. Am I still able to win it? Well, probably if I play like a couple of days or some weeks, then I'm back on track. But yeah, I think if there's an ESWC, that whole experience, I would come back. Probably won't see me there playing Trackmania, I'm afraid.
Oh. The biggest event nowadays in Trackmania is the Serrator Cup because of his following. You were the first ever winner of that event. How did you find out about that event in the first place, and how were you able to take home the victory?
Was pretty funny story actually. Most of my fans are French somehow, and because Serrator is French as well, all those fans actually messaged me on like Twitter, Facebook, and whatever. They were like, "Oh, Koen, this like famous streamer, I had no idea who it was, is going to." Host a Trackmania Cup. First place is or the top 3 gets money or whatever, and it's on Fun Tracks. And when I heard Fun Tracks, I was like, yes, I want to do this, because all the cups I always played were on serious tracks, like technical serious tracks, Die Hard. And now we actually had to play on fun maps, like fun maps. Let's call them LOL maps. Yeah. And I love playing those, but I never played them competitively. So it was like a new challenge, and I just wanted to try it out. And I love the concept of Serrator making his own tracks. And then I just participated. I trained the maps. I searched for all the cuts, and I talked to other players about the maps and where they found cuts and whatever. We helped each other. And well, in the end, won the Serrator Cup like out of nowhere. It was like a big surprise, and I was very happy obviously winning it. Me and Serrator also like got to know each other, and yeah, it's just amazing what he does for the community. Very well respected as well by everyone in the community, because he definitely brings a lot of people to Trackmania, and I think he does an amazing job organizing that event together with all the people helping him out. Yeah. So yeah.
And if I'm not mistaken, you were pretty close to winning it 2 times, or at least you were pretty unlucky in the grand final of the cup number 2, or?
Well, yeah. Oh, I have to search my memory. Well, I think if this is funny. If people like, is this going to go on YouTube?
Yeah, this is on YouTube. Yeah.
If people are listening to this, then probably in the chat, you should react if you saw the video of me on ESL Pudding. ESL Serrator ZRT Pudding.
Yeah.
If you know about this movie and the story behind it, please react in the chat. That's good for you as well. But yeah, so I don't know if the second edition was ZRT Pudding. I don't know if it was the final either. I think it was like the half finals,
okay.
Or quarters. But on ZRT Pudding, I somehow managed to fail every round by very weird, stupid things because of the puddings, and not even like always my own weird. weird fault. Well, obviously it is in the end, but it was such a weird map for me, and I lost all my points on that map, and I couldn't come back as good as I tried. So it was hilarious, and most of the people remember that I was on TeamSpeak together with Spam, Burgie, Carl Jr., Wally, everyone. And then at a given moment, Burgie said something like that, and then I said, "What?"
Yeah.
and I was live streaming as well, and many people remember that moment. So yeah, quite hectic. In hindsight, I still love that moment, and it was great fun. And it's about the fun, it's
Yeah.
a tournament about fun, and that's what I love. So I mean, I didn't win it a second time. I got maybe close a couple of times or didn't participate because of other stuff. But I love the concept, and will always try if I can.
Yeah, and I think it's sort of an advantage for you because you had the map testing sessions where you tried out just random maps for people, sort of like fun maps because it was not always flowy maps or good maps sent in. Did you think that helped you managing the
Uh,
Serrator Cup maps as well, or?
since the beginning of my career, I've been stamped as a fast learner, which basically means that, well, obviously you learn the tracks very quick. You don't have to spend as much time on a track to set the same times as others maybe need to train more. So since the beginning of my career, I always learned maps very quick, which was a good thing because I also had my studies and sports and friends and stuff. So it took me less time to train and participate on the highest level. So I think mainly because of my fast learning ability somehow, because apparently I have it. Just like poker, poker, very good example as well. He learned maps very quick. And Kayan, obviously. So it's just like something you somehow have, and therefore I learned the maps very quick. And obviously you need to keep trying the cuts and just know exactly what to do on those tracks because they are fun maps and everything can happen and bugs are everywhere. Um, but I think I mainly learned the tracks quick because of my ability, fast learning ability, and the map testing sessions. Also, like a result of learning tracks quick. I wanted to knowledge about tracks with the community, so I started it. I think actually Riolu is doing those nowadays, now and then on his stream. So definitely check Riolu out. He's streaming like every night, almost every night. And yeah, I tried those maps, and obviously also weird maps, but really added something to my abilities playing those fun maps.
Yeah. And talking about the Serrator event, Carl Jr. won it last year, making it his third win overall. Many, including myself, will call him the greatest of all time. But let me ask you this: if you had to pick like the top four players of the game, who would it be? So like the Mount Rushmore of Trackmania, and why would it be those?
Top four. Well, on the first place, I think history of Trackmania as well. So then we go back all the way to 2006 until the moment we are now. Carl Jr. is the number one. Showed in the game and his results is unbelievable. Like he's also a fast learner, but that just not just a fast learner, but he's very consistent on a very fast pace. And if he is well trained, there's barely anyone that's able to like play. So I mean, Carl Jr. therefore is like the number one, winning the world championships a couple of times, the Zerator Cup a couple of times. It doesn't matter what you give him; he will.
Yeah.
Just like I won Zerator once, and well, multiple maps, he can as well, but he just does it even better. So I think Carl Jr. is the number one. On two, I think without a doubt we have Karyan, and even though Karyan active for quite some years already, he had some like good results, very good results in the past, which made him well known in the community in the past. But also all his records, and he learned like he learned those tracks so quick, and he immediately was so fast, and he had great results at tournaments and online tournaments that I think still nowadays many people think, and I agree, that he's absolutely one of the best, if not the best. Like, if he would still be playing against Carl Jr., I don't know who will win, honestly. So doesn't have like a Kayan as an opponent, Jr. on the number one spot. But if he had Kayan right there and they had to battle against each other, it might have been Kayan on the first spot. So yeah, depends on what time we're talking about. But Kayan definitely up there. Then we also have Frostbull, own character, stopped Trackmania a couple of years ago. He was my old leader in Team Acer. He definitely got that third spot. He was like the biggest competition for Kayan at the time. It was always Kayan, Frostbull, Burgi. Frostbull, he won everything in his career. He wanted to win as well as online as offline. So a very big name and definitely one to mention in the list. And then the fourth one, you make me doubt, because I think like multiple people that might take that place. Don't know if I can pick one out of the list. It's.
Yeah.
I mean, there are so many good players and so many players that might like get the fourth spot.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of a hard task to ask, but you've given us the top three.
Yeah, so I think I'll stick with the top three, and then on the fourth place you can like use WC in the past to spam adding so much to the community and being a good player, to Massa being fucking quick as always, like Burgi active, like he carried Dignitas, and like there are so many people also for other reasons that deserve that fourth spot, not just as a player being good, but also adding to the community or whatever, that I can't like for the fourth spot. Like, and there are so many others. I mean, poker as well, and you had Sky in the past and Xenogear, and it's a massive list. Like, yeah, I don't know.
But it's safe to say that your dream final, including yourself, would be Carl Jr., Karian, and Frostbull. What a hell of a match that would have been.
Yeah, that would be a nice. Absolutely.
But at the
Petsy,
end,
you also have Petsy. Don't forget Petsy.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if you know who he is. I think you do.
Yeah,
Maybe.
sort of not too much about him because he was before my time, I believe, but I heard rumors about him.
Yeah, and you had hardcore as well, like Bad Boys Hardcore. This is old school, people. Like if you're from like 2007, you know what I'm talking about. But you had hardcore and Bad Boys, and you had Petsy playing with us in the B Grip STC final. So yeah, that old names, but very good.
At the end of your career, sort of say, you ended up playing a 1v1 battle against Spam in the Netherlands. The crowd were big and it was a nice place to showcase the game. You ended up beating Spam, if I'm not mistaken, and taking home the win. But I'm curious, how did you end up playing in a 1v1 rather than a little tournament to qualify?
We were invited. So the event we were playing was First Look Festival. There was like it's like ESWC basically. It's like, well, you don't have a tournament like ESWC, but it's like this big halls with a lot of games, new games that you can play, and new hardware, and people just visiting, walking around as cosplayers. So it's just an event basically. But that year at that event, they wanted to include some eSport things. So one of the games that they wanted to play was Trackmania. So they invited me and Spam to play against each other, and we both agreed for the one-on-one. So we decided to play against each other. We had 3 maps that we were going to play. They were unknown, so unknown for the whole community except for us. So we trained those maps, and without knowing each other's PBs, obviously. So we trained offline all the time. Without even knowing each other's PBs, we actually had the same PB on 2 maps, exactly under 100. And on the third map, I was a little bit quicker as he was. Actually, Bench Productions, nowadays Snowflake Films, he made a movie about it, but it was on his old channel, which was, I think, hacked. So it's not on there anymore. I don't think he has the file, but it was an amazing video showing our PBs. But yeah, we were basically invited, and we played on stage, big public. I think the first prize was like 400 euros. The second one like 200 or 100. I think 100. And yeah, I felt very comfortable. And obviously, Spam is a very big name to be reckoned with. And also driver 1v1 because he is the world champion of 2012. But I mean, he of events. I beat him up at a couple of events, and that was one of the events that where I beat him. So it was a good final for me. Distant, and yeah, obviously happy to take the win.
Yeah. As this is a project where I hope new people of the game will get more into the game, I guess people wonder how was the process of getting into your first team and what was your first team in Trackmania?
Oh, it went very quick. So when I was 14, I started playing, and because of my dad, and he installed it on the PC upstairs. So I was able to play in the evenings. Where if I didn't do sports or had social life stuff, then I was playing the game, and I was playing, and I will never forget. I was playing Trackmania ESWC. And I played on the server Race Wars, and Race was written in red and Wars in black. Yeah, big, great memory. And I joined that server because that was the server that my dad was playing when I saw the game for the first time. So I just came back there, and in a I, I drove on that server for 2 weeks, and I started to just get the hang of the game. I couldn't drift at all, but I was able to get myself in the records. Like it was just an amateur server, so I was able to get on the record sheets, and also like people that were playing saw me playing all the time. The team that actually owned the server, which was C Sports at that moment, just C, um, they asked me to join their team. After 2 weeks, and I was like, "Well, Dad, am I allowed to join the team? You know, Dad, I'm going into gaming." And he was like, "Yeah, sure. I'm going to give you a headset, and you're allowed to join and talk with them on TeamSpeak." So he supported me, as well as my mom, of course, and actually joined them. Yeah, I joined them on TeamSpeak, and I think the first year of my gaming career with C Sports, it was my my funniest year ever. I have not laughed so much in 1 year as I did that year. So much fun, like mainly Germans, but I had the most amazing fun with those people. And actually, you won't believe it, I'm still in their WhatsApp group. So after
Oh.
11 years, I still have contacts with the team and with the leaders. So yeah.
Yeah. And it's safe to say that that was the start of a great career in teams. And as you said in the start, you're most known for playing in Team Acer. How did you find a home in Team Acer, and how would you describe your stay there?
So yeah, my career went on, and obviously in time you get like a bigger name, you know, as they say. But always keep your feet on the ground, kids. But yeah, you like people get to know you, and at a given moment, I played for MCon eSports because I had a short moment of being inactive, also because of exams. And I came back, got a contract I had the option to go to MCon. So I did, and that ended up in a contract. So I played for MCon. The reason I played there was because I wasn't sure if I had enough time next to my studies to play on like the professional level again after my comeback, because I was studying on like it's a pretty high level. So I didn't know if I had the time. So I just wanted to like feel comfortable with the team during my comeback, and I knew MCon, I knew the players, so that's why I joined the team. And I had all the freedom I could get, so I was able to combine it with my studies. And when I noticed I was able to combine it with my studies, I was like, okay, next time for the next step. Um, a year before I joined Acer, Burgi actually asked me to join Dignitas, which was my dream at the time. Don't understand me wrong. It was my dream because of Gallo learning me how to drift. Dignitas was definitely a dream. As a kid, I told Burgi, well, I don't know how busy I will be on university, and I don't want to play for Dignitas, or I don't want to join Team Dignitas and then not be able to play. It's bad for me. It's bad for Dignitas. It's like reputation wise. So, you know, I stay with MCon. I'm sorry. I need. So I stayed at MCON for another year. I noticed I had enough time at university, and then I want to play on the biggest level, on the highest level again. Team Acer, well, I knew all the people in Team Acer already from my career, and many old teammates, as well as the leader, which was GWH, Jan Willem Hofstede, a Dutchie. He was my leader in B Grip Gaming as well when I was 15 years old. So I knew him as well, and he knew me. So it went very easy. Like we got in touch, and he said, "Well, officially we need to give you a 1-month trial or a tournament trial to join the team." And I was like, "Yeah, sure." And after 1 week, they said, "Well, you can join, whatever." Then I got a part of the team, and it felt like home, like being back on that like top level. The team was amazing. I knew everyone in the team very well because of my career. I knew the leader, GWH. It was a great period in my career and probably one of the best ones in the professional scene, also because of the results. But yeah, it was a great team nonetheless.
Yeah. And sadly, in 2007, we saw both Team Acer and Team Dignitas leaving the scene. Both of the teams ended up being under the wings of Team Expert. The first year or first part, they had 2 teams, but today they only have 1 team. How was that process for you? Let's start with when Acer left and you had to find a new organization.
Early, like on the 1st of January 2016, actually our management told us that Trackmania won't be a part of the lineup in 2016. However, a couple of months later, Team Acer was out completely. So apparently we were just the first, well, one of the first teams to go out beside like StarCraft and League of Legends or whatever teams we had at the moment, but definitely StarCraft. So in the end, like Team Acer just stopped completely. Then we drove under the name Water Bottle, which is just a name we came up with ourselves, and we just played online tournaments and whatever. And we were like searching a sponsor, but we had no like big hurries because we still had lots of fun. However, we had our difficult moments because of motivation for some people, downs during that period. But one of the ups was that the leader, the manager that we had at Team Acer, which was Uwe Sentner, the CEO at that moment, he actually contacted me and asked me if we wanted to drive for Team Expert with the team we had at Team Acer. And he asked that, I think, in August that year or July. So you can imagine, half a year passed. And when he asked it, I like, and obviously Frostbull, and well, we kind of agreed immediately. And Team Expert, we knew about the company because it's a very big company, worldwide, Expert, and the shop, retail shop, and we knew like about the contracts and salary and stuff. So things were settled, and actually everything was kind of the same as Team Acer. We just played under a different name. So that's how we like broke up. We had our ups and downs, and then Team Expert came, like the same guys in the management, like the whole management was the same, and we were there as well. So.
And as I said, now Team Acer and Team Dignitas are one team under Team Expert. Did you ever think that Team Acer and Team Dignitas would end up playing together?
Yeah, fun question.
Thank you.
To be honest, like, I mean, who would have ever expected the 2 biggest rivals in the game to play under one flag? No one.
Exactly.
No one. So, was it a big surprise for me? No, because when Team Dignitas dropped their Trackmania lineup, well, basically, it was not really Team Dignitas doing it, but I think the 76ers, like the basketball team, that did it because the management of Team Dignitas loved Trackmania. But anyway, they were teamless, and obviously, searching a new sponsor is pretty difficult. And we were the biggest. We had at that time the biggest sponsor of Trackmania, so somehow I wasn't surprised that when I heard they were going to join Team Expert as whoever wants Team Dignitas to be first or second, whatever. But there were just 2 very good, if not the 2 best teams in the world, playing for the same team. You had Team Expert Black and Orange. And it was very surprising. And many people in the team, when we heard it inside Team Expert Orange, let's say, were a little bit surprised. People were very surprised, and some people were like, I don't know if this is a good idea. Probably this will have an effect on the team in general. Like maybe there's like a plan behind it. Will our team be kicked? Yes or no? Or will we fuse? Yes or no? Like, so it raised so many questions, which many people don't know about because obviously they don't read our Skype chats. So that's what podcasts are good for, by the way. So there were many questions asked during that period, and some people were afraid that they had to like maybe even leave the team because how can you have two teams under one flag? So yeah, actually, we were surprised, motivated to try and beat them at the cups we did. Now, I think if you had to do like read statistics, I think Team Expert Black in the end beat us at more events than we did with Orange beating them. But still, it was like a healthy, good rivalry. Like discussions, me and Burgi contact now and then, and also Frostpool left already. So a healthy relationship. No one expected maybe it to be this good as well. And obviously, most of the finals were Team Acer Black against Team Acer Orange. But yeah, I mean, good publicity for Team Expert, right? So I don't really know how Team Acer Black thought about it. I think Spam told me about it as well when they were going to join Team Expert Orange. And they were like, okay, let's do it. I know we know each other's team, and it's okay. We don't have to fight about things. We just get like the same as you guys do. Like the contracts were like equal. There was nothing different. So it was just a healthy relationship, and in the end, I think it was quite a nice one. Like very unexpected, but very good as well.
Yeah. And with the big organizations leaving the game, it can be seen as a sign that the game is going downwards, like you said in the start. But I would like to ask you this, since you are involved with other esports games as well. How did you see the future of Trackmania play out? What needs to be changed for this game to be successful?
I don't know if you want to hear my answer about the future, though.
Okay, let's go. Let's be honest.
But I think with the community in general, and then mainly like the professional players or people involved like in community, I think we spoke to Nadio a lot about what do we think is good, what should the changes be, what would be good for the scene, what kind of tournaments and whatever. But somehow, always like to listen, and I mean, it's amazing that they can make so many different games. Like you have like all kind of different environments, and it's amazing what they can make. But I think they kind of lost the esports trajectory in like 2011. And if you look how it goes, like obviously Team Acer went out, Team Dignitas went out, and Team Expert is still inside, but they have like two big streamers, Riolu and Spam. They get basically free marketing because the team is one of the best, so they kind of win a lot. But they lost against a team recently in ESL, I believe, so they are not
that's
in
correct.
ESL fans. So I keep track of the Trackmania scene. I still know what's going on because of my interest. Some matches, I still watch streams, but about Trackmania, I think the only way to get it back up is to have ESWC, or well, let's say the World Championships should be at a big event, because you won't be there. Trackmania being played at ESWC again won't make it a success. How they need to like do marketing, very active on social media, and think of like esports in general, and also like a plan, because it feels like they don't have a plan. It's just like a guy at the top with a lot of ideas, making a lot of different games, splitting the community all the time, which is already small. So, and then also, I think they really destroyed the future of Trackmania with Trackmania Turbo. I like the idea. If you have so much marketing surrounding the game and you make it so worldwide famous, Trackmania Turbo, you got to play it. And then so many people buy the game, and then when you play the game, it sucks. like if you go online to Trackmania Turbo nowadays on PC, you will see like 10, 20 people playing online out of like hundreds of thousands maybe that bought it. Like it's crazy how
Yep.
bad it is at the moment. And I think with that they just destroyed the view of Trackmania in general. If you would like as a developer bring out a new game that's called Trackmania blah blah, and you will do a lot of marketing, then people will first think, oh wait, I bought Trackmania Turbo and that one was shit. So why would I buy this one? I won't buy this one. It's probably shit as well. Because that's what you created. Think not many people will buy those games. So they kind of destroyed themselves, basically. So I don't think the future of Trackmania is that good. I think in France it will still be very popular because it's a French game. Gamers Assembly is doing amazing organizing the tournament. But other than that, like you have the tournament in France, and you had where is it? Like the Isuba House
Yeah.
tournament,
The nest.
the Nest, which is a great idea. I love that one as well. But I think that's about it.
Yeah.
Trackmania has a future anymore. They missed the golden opportunity. They were there as one of the first big esport titles, and they just threw it in the trash can. So yeah.
Yeah. As we briefly touched already, you are now working for Fox Sports in the Netherlands to promote esport. Can you explain us what you do there and how a normal day at Fox Sports looks like?
I study medicine, which is my main. I'm a medical student. My main thing, but I work like it's not really working at Fox Sports. It's like I'm a presenter on Fox Sports. The reason why it isn't called working at Fox Sports is because I'm not contracted with Fox Sports. The program I host as a main host is called Inside Esports, where we have several competitions in several games with prize pools or international tickets to events like WCG. Currently, we have League of Legends, Counter Strike, and CS:GO, but we are also planning to have Rocket League inside. I always try to get Trackmania inside as well. Still do. Not as easy though. Also because of Nadio. So, but anyway, most of Inside Esports. Now, the program Inside Esports is developed by WaterTube, which is a company of Joost Rosette, and Joost is very well known in the media world. He also, like many people know the program Big Brother, he is the one that rolled out Big Brother internationally. So he's very well known. And he asked me to, like, in the end, present Inside Esports since the start, so I did. So basically, you could say I'm working for WaterTube. Now, Joost is having very good contacts with Fox Sports. So what did he do? He asked Fox Sports, obviously, to broadcast his new show on Fox Sports, which happened. Obviously, there's more like, you won't get on Fox Sports immediately out of nowhere, but he knows the details, Joost does. But anyway, because of his contacts, we were able to broadcast on Fox Sports. So I'm not like working for Fox. And beside that, to be honest, I'm working as a presenter for free. Whoa, surprising. Yeah. Now, the reason it is for free is because as a new program, you need sponsors to actually have budget to pay everything. The first season, Joost actually paid the whole program himself, which is like, I don't know, more than €1,000 each show. You can imagine.
Yep.
So he invested a lot. We needed to attract sponsors. Nowadays, we have Axe and Taco Bell, as well as Acer, because I'm an ambassador. So I got Acer in as well to like, if they wanted to sponsor the hardware, which they did, very respected as well. And I work for free still because we don't have enough sponsors to give people salary. And if I have to think about esports in the Netherlands and esports in general, I want to support esports. I want to see it grow, and I want to have like about esports and change their minds. That esports is not a fucked up thing with people eating pizza everywhere all the time, not sleeping. It's like it's different. It's just let them see the good side of esports as well, and healthy people playing a competition, and me hosting it. So in the media a lot because, yeah, as mentioned, just before this podcast, I was on the radio in the Netherlands on national radio talking about gaming addiction. So I'm in the media a lot, and that's how they like found me, asked me, and I work for free because I want to support esports in the Netherlands, and I support the project. And I do believe if we get enough sponsorships, we get the money, we get salary, but I don't work just for money. Money is always secondary in my life. It's not my primary thing. It's secondary. My primary thing at this is to just make support esports and do the best I can to make esports bigger in the Netherlands. So yeah.
Yeah, and it's for sure amazing what you're doing to promote only esport and maybe sometime Trackmania. And my next question is there any hope that we will see Trackmania being played on the television in the Netherlands?
Yeah, so I think the first time I tried it was 2016. I also had contact with Nadio, with Ali Noah at the time. Ali Noah, by the way, is the wife of Hilis, for the ones that don't know. And Hilis is the developer. Well, so yeah, so had contacts with Joost as well as Nadio, and I think like you can like broadcast Trackmania, and it's very interesting to watch. And to be honest, I don't really know why I or not yet at least. I think Joost had a talk with Hylas as well on Skype. I think I can remember. It's like 2 years ago, so pretty long time. But don't really. In the meantime, like obviously Joost was focusing on League of Legends at the start because it's the biggest game. Then now we have Counter-Strike, Dota, but those games are pretty well, except for Counter-Strike, Dota and League of Legends are very difficult to understand for people that don't know about esports. So having a racing game would make it very like people can touch it, they can recognize it. It's racing, easy to understand. Just Rocket League as well, by the way. So I think like maybe what hold them back is how to broadcast Trackmania. You have a couple of camera positions that you can use. That's the reason. I actually, honestly, have no clue. Like it's not one of the biggest games, and obviously you have to invest every show. Someone has to invest into that broadcast, and maybe because of the viewership numbers, maybe Hylas somehow had no interest, or I don't know. So I gotta like figure that out. If people really want to know, they can write me a message on Facebook or whatever, and I'll try to figure it out. But I can't. I don't know. I can't give you the answer. Very, very odd. Sorry.
Maybe the next time I interview you, you have the final answer.
Yeah, or if people can always like ask me
Yeah.
on Facebook or whatever social media I'm at, Instagram, Twitter, whatever, and I'll try to figure it out.
My last question for you will be an off-topic questions, but something that is talked a lot about today: the Olympics. The Netherlands is doing fairly well and is taking a lot of goals in ice skating. How much of the Olympics do you follow, and what are the sports that you follow?
Yeah, they are doing very well on ice skating, which is basically our strongest sport, I think, at the Winter Olympics.
Yep.
So the like ice skating a little bit because I'm an ambassador of a company, First Energy Gum, which the CEO of that one is Mark Tuitert. Now, Mark Tuitert is actually a professional ice skater, and he won the Olympics 1500 meters a couple of years ago. Oh. So because I've have contact with him now and then, and also follow him on social, I do stay up to date with ice skating. I don't really watch it myself because I just have other stuff to do. Because in esports, I don't only, but I do a lot more stuff. So that's how I like or about the Olympics and what's happening. Esports and the Olympics. I do have connections to the IOC, the International Olympic Committee. Yep. because I'm a founding member of the Athletes Commission of the International Esports Federation, IESF, and we do try to get esports at the Olympics, also make esports an official sport at Sport Accord. So we are busy with it, and it's turning out pretty well. Like this year, you have esports as a spectator sport, so it's not officially a medal sport, but it's a spectator sport in Pyeongchang. Hopefully in 2000, I think it was 2024, it will be like an Olympic sport, and in 2022, it should be like a medal sport at the Asian Games, which is the second biggest worldwide sports event. So yeah, we are trying to and inform people about what it is, and yeah, hopefully we will see esports at the Olympics. And if we do, I just kind of hope they won't pick like it's difficult to understand, but start with like an easier game that's also understandable for people that don't know about esports. Yeah.
Maybe Trackmania.
Yeah, oh, that would be very that would be very, very nice. So maybe Trackmania, but as long as it's a game that people can understand, I think it's okay. You know, so I mean, I feel bad for the people playing League of Legends, but I wouldn't start with a game like that. Neither Dota. Counter-Strike might be doable, but that's obviously shooting, and the IOC probably won't like that topic. So Rocket League, FIFA. It's, I don't know, simple game, Trackmania. Yeah. So simpler that people can understand, because the biggest community still is the community of people that don't know about esports. Like, so if you want to make esports bigger worldwide, I think you also need to let them know esports is a thing. You have to show them what it is in a positive way, and also gather their interest. And you will only gather their interest, or at least most of the people, if they have if they can recognize the esport with real life, in my opinion. So yeah.
Thank you so much for being my guest today, Koenz. I really enjoyed talking to you, and I wish the best for your future. And I hope that someday you're able to, pull an upset and make Trackmania big, because I think you are one of the people that certainly can do it. If you have any final words, or if there anyone you would like to say hello to, I will give you the opportunity to say it now.
First of all, I love your idea about doing a podcast, and I'm very, very honored to be the first official one in your podcast series. So thank you for that. Thank you for the invite, and also thank to GiNi Productions for obviously recording the whole thing. So and in the end, I mean, if I have to say thanks, it's probably to the whole Trackmania community, because if the community wasn't that kind, that big, that supporting, that amazing, I wouldn't be where I was nowadays. Because thanks to Trackmania, I actually have a career in esports which goes further than just a player and a manager for the Rocket League team, but also internationally and in the Netherlands. And because of Trackmania, I'm on television, and referred back to my dad that showed me the game. So obviously thanks to my parents, which should be normal, because that's where it all started. Thanks to my parents knowing what my passion was, which was racing. And other than that, I think thanks to the leaders of C to get me in a team. Thanks to GWH for my entrance in esports as a professional. Yeah, I mean, thanks to everyone in the Trackmania community that's still out there trying to go for it. I wish I could do the same, but stocked too full. Thank you for the interview.
Yeah, thank you so much, man, and for the next time. See you guys.
Absolutely.